That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go on to Motherwell, just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxwell, because he's absolutely different gravy.
You look as if he's just come straight away for the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30, mate. Yes, we're back with a Celtic Unrestricted view. How are we, guys? We're all getting smiling faces. Why is that? Because we're top of the table, 9 points clear. Well, it's a bumper channel tonight for you. Bumper episode, should I say? No, a bumper channel. Bumper channel's something else normally they call that, innit? Bumper episode tonight. There's 4 days on tonight. It's no norm for the Celtic Unrestricted Goal Rush. But 4 days on tonight. Joining us all the way from Sheffield, our good friend Barry Bannan. How are you, mate?
Good, big man. How are you?
Aye, I'm good, mate. Aye, always good to see your happy face. Nice to see you've got nice team colours on there, mate.
Aye, we're in Charlton, so can't wear my Celtic stuff tonight. I've got to be professional tonight. That'll be Sunday. I'll have that on.
That's killing you, innit?
I know. Bad luck. I've normally got it on and we've won, so.
Aye. Hope it keeps going for us, mate. Definitely. And also our good friend Barry. We've got 2 Barrys on tonight as well for all the listeners and the watchers. You get 2 Ronnies and the 2 Barrys. What a Friday night this is. So Barry, how are you?
Good to see you, big man. Aye, I'm good. Good to be on the show. Fantastic to meet Barry as well, albeit virtually. And enjoyed following your career, Barry. And yeah, you've done what the other 3 years could only dream of doing, mate. So it's great to be on the show, and I'm looking forward to listening to you guys. But it'd be nice to hear from Barry tonight as well. So good to be here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I accomplished being on the podcast before Barry did there, so I don't know what you're meaning there, mate, to be honest. But no, I'm only kidding on. Ryan, our aka Andy Gray, the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast. How are you, my man?
I'm good, mate. I'm smiling, freezing cold. Hoodie's on again, mate.
You get a hoodie on again. Heating
aye, it's always broken Cran Hall, mate. You know what I mean? But I'm again, as Barry says, I'm looking forward to speak to Barry again. It's always good to have Barry's knowledge on, and as we say, every time he's come on, we've done well. So hopefully that continues. Hope you're okay as well, mate.
Aye, I'm great, mate. It's been a bit of a quick week, to be honest with you. Just felt as if I woke up, it was Monday morning, and I woke up again, now it's Friday. So it just feels as if the week's disappeared, but it's been quite eventful. Obviously with my 2 kids, mate, it's never a dull day in here, I'll tell you. First of all, guys, before we go any further, as you can see running along the bottom of the screen, the Celtic FC Foundation Supporters Club are running an event on Saturday the 6th of May in the Crown Plaza Hotel in Glasgow. Now, the early bird offer for this gig is £60 per person for your night, and your table of 10 is £600. The offer only runs until the 28th, which is this coming Tuesday, if my memory serves me right. And then after that, it's £65 per head and £650 for a table of 10. So, fantastic charity, guys. Get yourself along if you can. If that's something that would interest you, definitely check out them. They're on Facebook. So check out the Celtic FC Foundation Supporters Club. Just type that into the Facebook search and you should see the charity itself. Chair of the charity is a girl called Lisa Miller. You can contact the page as well if you've got any queries or questions about that. But as I say, it's a great cause, and the charity, the night they're holding is actually called Seville, the Celtic Way. So it's going to be about Celtic's journey to Seville. There's going to be music bands and stuff happening there. So get yourself along to that if you can, guys. Right, guys, on to the biggie. Here we are again, Glasgow Celtic in another cup final. Shock horror for us all, eh? It's another season where we get another final. I'll come to you. I'm going to have to call you by your surnames here, so I don't. Sorry to you, don't jump in at once. Think I'm talking to you. So I'll call you Baza. I'll call you Baza. So Barry Bannan, you're Baza, and
right.
you can be Mr. McCandless for tonight, okay? So Baza, I'll come to you, mate. Celtic in another League Cup final. It never seems to amaze us, mate. So what's your thoughts on it, mate?
No, it's nothing new to them. Obviously, won loads of trophies the last 10 years. They've dominated, so just another game for Celtic, probably. Obviously, it being Old Firm adds a wee bit extra to it, but we've spoke on here before. Celtic Cup finals, Old Firms, Champions League nights, it doesn't really detract away from how Celtic approach things. Since the new managers come in, they've had a style of playing and they've stuck to that style. So I know it's a big occasion, but like I said, it won't really bother them. They've got a way of playing and they've stuck to it, and they're getting better game by game. So I think, again, I'm quietly confident going into this final that the Celtic turn up. They won the game again. Barring a bit of luck, I think they won the game quite easily if they turn up again. I know it's cup finals and Old Firms, and a lot of people say it can go either way, but I just think Celtic at the minute are the better team. I know Rangers have had good results recently with a new manager and things like that, but I think there's still a golfing class there. And if from the outside looking in, I think if you're watching both teams, you would have to admit Celtic are quite a bit ahead at the minute.
Hi, I would tend to agree with that, Baza. I think I said it the other night. In fact, Ryan's put a wee popular clip about it on the TikTok and on the YouTube page. Me declaring that Celtic are miles ahead of him, because I'm fed up with people up here as if they talk about us as if we're a married couple, as if we come together. We don't. And it annoys me when I hear the two Glasgow teams like we're party the same sort of, we're connected in some way. We're not. I'll come to you with that one, Mr. McCandless. It's not because you're a school teacher or anything like that. I'm just deciding to call you that for the night, so don't get too carried away when I say that to you, right? But I'll come to you, and what's your thoughts leading into Sunday?
Well, I'll just endorse everything that Baza said there. I think, his words were, there's a golfing class, and I do see it that way. We've all watched enough football and supported our team on enough occasions to know that you can be humbled in football. You can end up. Me and Ryan, a podcast a few months back, we were both adamant a result was going to go our way, and we spoke about it on the podcast, and it came back to bite the both of us. So you don't want to come across as arrogant, especially in this fixture, as Baza rightly says. It's a unique fixture, and we've seen, quote unquote here, average players play out their skin in these games, and that can happen on any given day. when these two clubs play. So I'm aware of that. I know that the unpredictable can happen in these games as well, but you do look at the way both teams are playing. I know Rangers have managed to get a lot of good results since the new manager's been there, but you look at the way both teams play, the way they approach, and I think that the way we play and the fact that it's so fixed and it's so settled, I think that's what will give us the edge. And my biggest hope, guys, is that we play with an intensity that I don't think Rangers, even on their best day, could match. You know, players can overperform, you can get the rub of the green, all these things can happen, but I don't believe that Rangers can match the intensity that we're able to get to. And I just hope that regardless of scoreline, regardless of patterns of play, I just hope that we maintain that intensity and pretty much just have too much for them. So that's the way I'm hoping the game goes. But obviously confident that we'll win and lift the trophy.
Aye, well, you kind of like to... Me and Rhino spoke about this as well, and obviously we've said that you're expecting Celtic just to turn up now. Similar to the way it was when Brendan started off. You're expecting Celtic to turn up now and just kind of walk out of tappy teams. And I know the one you're talking about, mate. Is that the one you and Ryan ended up popular on a St Mirren podcast?
That's the one.
When St Mirren beat us 2-0 earlier in the season.
Yeah, that was on my birthday as well, so terrible.
Oh, was it, mate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd have took your mind off it. I'd have came chapped your door and given you your stumps if I'd have known that was your birthday that day instead of watching the Celtic game.
You stop making promises you can't keep, big guy.
I was like watching paint dry. But no, as I said, I remember that one because I remember you had to go down outside St Mirren Stadium and apologise to everybody and hand out the wee flyers for the St Mirren game for the following week, wasn't it? So I remember that vividly actually. It was raining that day, I know. Do you know end up with a call, Brian?
I've always got a call, mate. I've always called.
Aye, that's right. Aye. Your GP's got a Bible for you about that size, hasn't he? But just more to the fact of Sunday, Ryan, what's your thoughts? Obviously, Celtic been in another cup final. We're becoming accustomed to this now. It's happening every year, just about. Minus the season that you love bringing up that we don't like talking about. But what's your thoughts on the overall event?
The exact same as what Baz and Barry were saying.
No.
I've said it all along. Even in that season when we weren't playing well, if your Scott Brown's turned up, the McGregors, your Edwards, if they all turned up to the pump, it doesn't matter what they done, even though they were maybe a few players that were better than some of the squad now. If Celtic turned up to the game, some of the players, your Ayers and that and all, on that 1.5 game that season, Celtic, in my opinion, would have still won the game. It just took us an absolute horrendous season. It just didn't happen. But now, like you said the other night, it's people. I don't know why people can't face the facts. They're 9 points ahead at the moment. I think it's 24 goals ahead. That tells you right now there's a gulf. As it stands right now, take away the cup final, that tells you there's a gulf. There's no, you can't sit and debate it, and it's facts. It's telling you. Celtic have lost one game all season in the league. That tells you. That's the start. But like Baz says, JP, if Celtic turn up to a away game, if your core of your team turns up, your McGregor, your Vickers and your Jota, you probably win the game because they are your core of the team. Vickers, if he's solid, nobody can buy him because he's the best defender in Scotland in my opinion. McGregor, I know people maybe question Hatate in this department now, but McGregor for me is, I'm not going to say world class, but he's borderline very near there. He's very, very good. And Kyogo's the best striker in Scotland. So if they turn up, JP, you should be winning the game. Like Basil McCartney says, if Celtic turn up to the way we know we can, like the game it probably comes to imagination is the game 3-0 at Celtic Park. See if Celtic turn up about that, the game's done. they're no compete with Celtic. That Celtic are too quick, they're too good, and they've got too much tactical nous about them for Rangers to cope with them. Like Barry says as well, Bazza, they are in a bit of form, but their performance hasn't been good. And like Barry spoke about in a previous pod, you can only do that for so long, and then you slip up. And we are hoping, JP, that will be Sunday.
Aye, definitely. I think we can all be in agreement with what we've just said. We've got a couple of wee comments coming in. One for Hail Hail, and he actually says Hail Hail. So that's no bad.
Wow, groundbreaking.
That's absolutely. Cheers for listening in. Hail Hail, and Hail Hail to yourself. Now we've got a wee comment here for Anthony Ingalls saying, "What's happening, boys? Good to see Barry back in the pod." Well, Anthony, I don't know if you've noticed, mate, but we've got two of them, so I don't know what one you're alluding to there, mate. And I'm no good at guessing games, so as my good lady would tell you. So we've got a comment for our big mate, Big Jason, and he says, "They have a starting 11. We have depth, which will be very important." I agree with you, Jason. I think our subs will be the difference on Sunday. With this 5-sub ruling. And before I bring you back in on that matter, Bazza, we've got a wee video from Jason, pre-recorded before tonight's show. I'm just going to let everybody see it. So,
you can say what you want, but this is not an Old Firm match. No. It's a Celtic versus Sevco match, because I'm sorry, but they are not the same club. What? Listen, they look like Rangers, they sound like Rangers, they smell like Rangers. And I hate them with an absolute passion that burns in the depths of my very soul. But they're not really Rangers. So I can't get worked up about them now.
Now, I did promise the big fella I would play his video tonight, so there you go. He decided to send that in his earlier on. Baz, I'll come to yourself in terms of what Jason's point there, in terms of squad depth and strength. We've now said it for a number of months now that we think our squad's, again, night and day for theirs. What about yourself, mate? Watching Celtic recently, they're killing teams in the later half of the second half. That's where they seem to be scoring a lot of goals from, because, as I say, they can get more energy onto the field using the 5 subs. And the bench, for me, in my opinion, is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
I totally agree. They've got 2 players for every position. I touched on it earlier on in the season that you could make a case for near enough all that bench to be starting. Every time they get given a chance, they take it. You've seen it the weekend when Haksabanovic came on and Abada scored. They both played a part in the goal. So we're quite lucky in that way, where we can make the 5 changes and it doesn't upset the rhythm. They know exactly what's expected of them, and they come on and give me their energy. Hopefully we don't really need the bench on Sunday, but they'll obviously use the bench, but hopefully they get them done and dusted before they come on and enjoy themselves. But I would agree, if it's going to be a close game and you need extra legs and that extra bit of quality, then like we've touched on, Celtic squad's way better than their squad. So I just think it starts for the manager really bringing in 2 players for every position, and with the 5 sub rule it helps. It's easier for the manager as well, because he can keep everybody kind of happy, because they know they're going to get 30 minutes or they'll start the next game, and you know you're going to get a chance. Whereas when it's 3 subs, you don't really get to see a chance for a couple of weeks, really. So it helps in that way as well. It makes the manager's job easier and can keep the players all happy and knowing that they're going to be getting game time. So we're just kind of lucky in a way that you can go into that and put anybody for that bench on, and you know they're going to come on and do a job, or if not a better job than the ones that have started the game. Our manager at our club calls it finishers, and I think instead of them being called subs, that's what they should be called, finishers, because they can come on and take the game away from teams with their energy and their quality they've got. So they're not really looked at as subs, they're looked at as finishers is a good word for them.
Aye, I agree with that, Bazza. Barry Mack, I'll come to you with this one. Obviously, what Bazza was saying there, finishers. I think these type of games, obviously cup finals, semi-finals, whatever they may be, I think it comes down to not necessarily the team that starts the game, but it's normally always about the team that finishes a game. And again, just touching on obviously the squad depth that we've got is totally night and day, in my opinion, for what they can deal with. I know they're getting players back for injury and stuff, but they're not up to scratch as yet. So, but I totally agree with what Baz was saying there in terms of finishers. I think it's really important to have that sort of depth to come on and, as Baz says, take a game away from teams and totally kill the result if the game's no gone as probably as comfortable as you would like it to.
Yeah, no, I like that term as well. Finishers. I think it's a bit more respectful to the guys that are coming on the pitch, because substitute, it sounds as though you've not been picked to play, basically. But managers now, they're a lot more crafty with the players that they bring off the bench, because these games can be tight. And don't forget, this is a cup final. It could go into extra time as well, where these finishers are even more important, because you need the fresh legs. And if it is a tight game and it goes into extra time, then it's a moment that could decide the game. So I think as a squad, we've got that luxury, which is remarkable. I know we've all probably spoke about this on various podcasts, that in 18 months to put together a squad with that depth, as Baza says, 2 players for every position, and that these guys can come in and it's almost like for like. Really, all you're doing is refreshing it. It's astonishing that Ange Postecoglou's been able to achieve that in that short period of time. So I think the squad will be important. I think that particularly Celtic, we will use our players off the bench at a certain period in the game. I don't really know what Rangers have got in terms of forward positions, other than I think Cholak, if he doesn't start the game, could be a threat coming off the bench. But I think it would be intimidating looking across, and you're seeing the likes of Abada coming on the pitch, who's got a great record, a great goal scoring record against them. So it could be the difference. We don't really know. I'm like Baz. I hope the game's kind of sold up by then. I hope these guys are coming on to add a bit of entertainment to the final, rather than having to make an impact. But there's no doubt, when you look at both squads, there is a very obvious difference for what we're able to bring off the bench and what they're able to bring off the bench. But as I say, let's hope these finishers are just coming on to put the icing on the cake.
Aye, no, pretty much, because like I say, that is a great term, finishers, isn't it? It's better than using the word substitution or substitute, because substitutes always are. I've always thought substitutes, like as you said, Baz, Barry Mack. Even, sorry, I don't want to confuse people tonight. As you say, it kind of as the term of you've not been picked, so you're there in case needed or whatever. But instead now you're called a finisher, because you're coming on to make an impact in the game. So, no, I like that term as well. Obviously, just before I bring your sale in that point, Ryan, I've got a couple of other wee comments. One here for Jordan McKechnie. McKechnie, is that how you pronounce that? First time on the podcast, hail boys. Hail to you, Jordan. Thanks very much for tuning in, pal. The more the merrier, that's what we say. Another one here for Kieran Dargan. Kieran Dargan reckons McGregor and Atati are going to be key on Sunday. If they both turn up and there's no silly mistakes, we should win the game. He agrees that Rangers' run of form papers over the cracks a wee bit due to their performances, but they haven't been great in wins. But whoever wins the midfield battle on Sunday, he reckons will win the game. Ryan, just on the kind of overall points, mate, what's your feelings there? And obviously, are you quite fond of that term yourself, finishers?
It's actually it is a really good term. It's the first I've ever heard it. So again, obviously Darren Moore at Sheffield Wednesday. It's like Barry McCandless says, the managers are crafty the way of words now, and it's keeping guys happy because even when I played, when you played JP, maybe you're a sub, you've been training all week, you're a sub, you're thinking, I might get 5-10 minutes a day. And it sounds bad, but sometimes you're like, you get injured so I can get a game. That's just the way you used to think. You're younger, do you know what I mean? But now, you'll be told, listen, after 60 minutes, you're coming on, this is what's happening. It's obviously Barry Baza will be able to tell us more about that, but sometimes it might be pre-planned. If this happens, this is what you're going to do, this is what might happen. So, in terms of squad depth, I think there was one game a few weeks ago, I think we brought on Haskabanovic, we brought on Turnbull, we brought on O, and I think we brought on O'Reilly. That's over about £10 million worth of talent just on your bench. And again, this is no offence to the guy because he's done better than me in his career, but they're bringing on Scott Wright. No, but that's the difference. They're bringing on a guy who signed for Aberdeen for basically next to nothing, and we're bringing on guys of sheer quality to come and just about enhance your squad. They guys are looking more to make them too much better. Maybe a bit of energy, a bit of pace, but the quality's not the same as your Ryan Kent or maybe whoever it's Sakara or somebody else out wide. So the quality is not the same really on their bench and our bench. In terms of the comment as well from, I can't remember who it was, a minute ago about Hatate and McGregor, I think it's spot on.
Kieran.
It was Kieran. Sorry.
Oh well, on that thought, he decided to do a runner. Kieran, I don't know what you've done to your Ryan, but I'm sure he'll be back. But that was quite interesting what he was saying there about obviously wanting to pick up Kieran's point, and then all of a sudden he decides to. What happened there? Did you decide to? Did you? I just thought Kieran's comment was too much for you to absorb, and you were just.
No, I just cut off. Sorry.
You just decided to.
No,
do a runner.
just cut off.
Oscar pulling your wire again.
Aye, that's enough of that. No, I do feel that the midfield is always it's always a big kind of thing about a game. It's always a big kind of winning point in my opinion. Because I always say with Scott Brown and McGregor in midfield, if Scott Brown played up to standard, Celtic won the game because he used to control the midfield, he controlled the tempo of the game, he controlled where the balls went going forward. I think probably the game that I can maybe mention about that was the game, I think we won 3-2. I'm sure it was the game Edwards scored. I think, was it the Bellick get the second one? What one was it? No, sorry, that was the game.
It was.
Aye. And,
was that what's the goalie then, Tom?
Aye, that game.
Aye, that's the game.
Scott, I was the one, Scott Brown hit the ball, I think it fouled by Candace. That was the game where Scott Brown...
Wasn't even good as a foul there a minute, because Big Dan Berry scored at the end of it.
Scott Brown got that game in the scruff of the neck, and he took the game forward. So, same McGregor and Hatate. For me, Hatate's slowly... Also, that's Barry's position as well. So, Barry will be able to kind of know how that position works. But for me, Baza, I think Hatate, he's definitely one of the Celtics players where his ceiling is just starting. You can't tell where his ceiling is. Probably some fans are disappointed with Jota because my old man says right for the money we pay for him. I'm a wee bit, I says, but he's still contributing to games. He's still making assists. It might not be sometimes flashy and doing tricks, but he got the games and you see like his footwork's so quick, he's tactical, he's so much better. When he first came in, he wasn't really starting back. Now he's starting back and running forward. He's basically like Maeda, the way he's playing. So I don't know what you feel as well, Baz, because that is obviously your kind of area of the park. But for me, I think McGregor and Hatate, somewhat but the point there was if they two turned up, it definitely enhances your position in the game.
Baza, you want to jump in on that, mate?
I think the boy's spot on. The midfield's massive in any game. I think that's where the game is basically won and lost. It's the engine room. You've got most of your creative players, and that's where you can dominate a game, really, from the middle of the park. So I think Celtic's midfield on Sunday will be vital. I don't know if Aaron Moy's back for it or it's going to be O'Reilly, but I think McGregor and Hatate are stick-ons to play, so I think the boy's spot on with what he said. I think if they turn up, on Sunday and dominate the way they've been dominating previous games, then it enhances Celtic's chances, and they probably won the game for us. McGregor, you know what you're going to get every week. I can't remember the last bad performance he's produced in all my time of watching Celtic. He's quite consistent. Probably a bit of a bad way of putting it. I think he's the most consistent player in Scotland. So you know what you're going to get from him. And Hatate's probably gone that way as well at the minute. I think he's, in the last month or 2 months, been Celtic's best player by a country mile. He's won his games himself, so they're going to be massive. If they two can tick on Sunday, then Celtic won the game for me. You've obviously got Aaron Moy, who's in good form as well. I know he never played last week, but I think he'll come back in as well, and he'll be something different that they've not really had to deal with yet. I know he came on at Ibrox and set the goal up, but they've not had to really deal with him, so they won't know what to expect. You can watch videos and all that, but it's completely different for coming up against that player. So he'll give them something different that they've not had to deal with. So he could be a big player on Sunday as well. And I think that's what makes me so confident to say like getting the result, because I think that midfield three will dominate the game and put it in Celtic's favour.
Mr. McCandless, you want to chip in there and add anything to that, or you in agreement with what's been said so far?
I agree with everything that Baz was saying there. I was keen to hear, because obviously that's his position in the pitch. Played in central midfield, so. But I think it's pretty widely accepted in football. You know, most pundits talk about it, that the middle of the pitch is where games are won and lost, as Baza says. And I do think Moy will start the game. I think he was probably protected last week, and I think he will start the game. I think obviously Hatate and McGregor, that will be the midfield three, I believe. And that's a good point Baza makes as well. You know, they won't quite know what to expect for Aaron Moy, although they may have watched footage, but he's such a clever footballer, and I think that's probably his best attributes, just his football IQ. Whatever way the game's going, he sort of knows how to respond to that. You know, he doesn't need half time and a manager's talk to sort of tell him, right, this is where you need to adjust and this is where you need to make some tweaks. He just kind of naturally does that. And on that point, you know, Hatate and Ryan was talking about Jota. Again, I come back to another strength that we've got over them. And I don't think there's any debate in this. We've definitely got more match winners. We've got more guys on the pitch who can do that wee bit different. You know, maybe you could make a case for Ryan Kent and their team. Other than that, you know, I think they're clutching at straws, really. I think Ryan Kent is capable, as much as, you know, I think he's been overrated at times, and he's got away with murder, to be quite frank, to the Rangers fans. But he is capable of it. He proved it in the last game. You know, he scored a nice goal. So, but you look at Celtic, you've got Maeda's capable, Jota's obviously capable, Kyogo is able to score goals even from outside the box as well. He showed he's able to do that. Last season's cup final, Kyogo made the difference with 2 sublime finishes. So that's another advantage that we've got. And I suppose the more you talk about it, the more you sort of realise, well, I don't think anybody's saying anything here out of turn when we all say that if Celtic show up, if we play at our best, if we're at it for the start, let's really be honest here, there should only be one winner. So, but aye, central midfield, I don't think there's too many talking points about who's going to start the game. I think the back five picks itself. McGregor and Hatate will definitely play. Maeda, Jota, Kyogo. It's really only that. Will it be Moy or O'Reilly? For me, it'll be Aaron Moy will get the nod. And he could make a difference.
It's interesting, Ryan, but as Mac was saying there about Aaron Moy sort of being kind of rested in a better term, because we thought, we've heard mixed rumours, we've heard he was injured, and Ange kind of highlighted the fact that you know, that was him and Turnbull returning to some sort of training, or but that led you to believe he was carrying an injury. But then we were told in the other breath that he was just kind of rested. I agree with what Barry was saying there. I think he's sort of been took out and just not wrapped in cotton wool, but he's played a lot of football. If you look at for the World Cup to now, I think he's played in just about every game. Whether he'd been a sub or he's come on and he started, or probably more started than he's no, if I'm being honest. But because it seemed to be for the World Cup, really sort of everybody says he dipped in form. He just gave Tam a run rather than playing O'Reilly all the time. And Ange uses the term quite a lot of overusing players. I think that was more to the point. But I think there's a good shout out for Aaron Moy to start the game on Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, put it that way, nor would I be disappointed, because I think a game of this stature, Aaron Moy he's got the experience now in the game to you know, carry himself well enough that he'll be able to do well enough in this fixture. I think he kind of made the difference for us, which led to that equaliser for us at Ibrox when he came off the bench along with Jackie Makis at the time. So I think obviously there'd be no issues whatsoever there for me if Aaron Moy was to start the game, mate.
I think as well, with O'Reilly scoring as well recently, that will give him confidence as well, because I know that you can see that was playing in his mind when he was hitting shots, he was getting frustrated with himself. But that just shows your strength and depth you've got. If you play O'Reilly, who's getting talked about for getting bigger moves down the line, and then you've got a guy who's played in World Cups, so many games in the Premier League, in the Championship, etc., on your bench, they've not got that. They've not got the experience and the quality either. I know he is injured, but guys like Steve Davis and McGregor, who's the goalkeeper, but they're all just about, their season's finished. They're probably finished end of this season, just about so. But we've got all these guys coming in who can come off the bench fresh, young, energy. But no, it's not just that. They've got tons of ability. There's even question about Abada, who's not really been doing as good as he's been recently to us. But probably if you look at his stats, he's probably still been the same. Barisic is scared of him. That's just, he's mentally, I think mentally he's gone. I think mentally he's gone with Abada. So there's a shout for me that Abada could get the nod as well, and Ange could totally change us about. We're thinking it's either Maid or Jota. He could drop Mane too. Well, not to that back, it's no dropping. He could just change it and make them think about him, because mind games is a wee bit of football these days. And Aaron Moy, was it a bit of mind games for Ange? Put the feelers out, he might not make it. He's living through fitness tests, and then Rangers might go, all right, we've been told injured. Well, maybe plan for O'Reilly, and then they play him at the start of the game. It's a wee spanner in the works and a bad, mate. So we've got loads of options. They probably haven't got as much. It's either probably going to be Sakala, Morelos or Kolak, or Kent. I can't think anybody else who would play. They play the same way all the time, roughly. But I agree with Baza, what Barry was saying. I can't remember the guy's name, but I seen him on Twitter the other day saying that James Starvey was one of the most consistent players in the last 5 years. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know why you're lying to yourself. Like Baza says, McGregor for Scotland, he's Mr. Inconsistent. He's one of Scotland, if not Scotland's most important player. And with Celtic, he's probably Celtic's most important player. So I take everything that Baza says in gospel, because one, he's played with him, and two, his position. He knows how it's about. He's got the knowledge of it. And he's seen Celtic all his career. He knows what McGregor's all about. So I'll put that one back to you, Baza. But see, in terms of these games, like Derby game, etc., I know managers say there's a different feeling. And just says they go about training a bit differently and it feels different. Is that really different? Is your phone always going about tickets and your family saying nervous for you, the training run? Do you go into training with a wee bit more spring your step, knowing that you've got that game coming up?
Of course, completely different to a normal game in the league in Scotland. Obviously, I've not been lucky enough to play for Celtic, but I'm a big Celtic fan, so I know what it's all about. I know the hatred there, so and that's where McGregor will come in handy, and your people like Forrest and they can let all these foreign boys know what it's about if they don't already know. That's how it's good to have a bit of a local lads in there that can drive that into the team as well for the stands kind of thing. But like you said, touched on tickets and phone calls for people that you've no spoke to in years, want to come and watch a derby game. It just adds to everything. And that kind of is why it's different, because the build up that week's completely different to any normal game. You might be getting free tickets out to your mates for St Mirren at Parkhead, but this game on Sunday there'll be double figure tickets, no doubt they'll be asking for. So it just shows you how big a game it is. And I know Celtic are obviously 9 points clear and the league's more or less done, but if they won this, they basically get 2 trophies and they're only going for one more for the treble. So it's a massive game, because on the other foot, if they won, it gives them a big confidence boost going into the rest of the season. Not saying they can catch us in the league, but they've got another trophy as well that they could go for, and it could help them that way. But it's a massive game. Obviously, Old Firm games speak for themselves, but like we touched on the podcast before the last Old Firm game, it's a massive game, but Celtic have got a way of playing, and it doesn't change no matter who the opposition is. I don't think the atmosphere will affect them. Well, they're quite lucky now. They've had 2 Old Firm games already this season for the majority of the team. I know the new signings, and Awata and stuff, haven't seen the Old Firm, but I'm sure they've watched the previous ones, so they know what it's all about. So I can't see the occasion getting to them too much. And like I touched on, never say never, because there's obviously shocks that can happen, and that's what it, in my eyes, will be if Rangers did win the trophy on Sunday. It'd be a big shock. But if Celtic turn up and play their game the way they can play, I don't think Rangers have got anywhere near enough to threaten them.
That's something, JP, that I noticed from McGregor's press conference. He was just talking about calm. We need to stay calm. Even if we do go behind or it doesn't go away, we just stay calm. We stick to what we need to do. But I don't think Rangers have got that patience and that know-how. I think if they go behind, it's panic stations, right? Do we put a sub on? Do we change formation? What do we do here? But if we go behind, right, okay, right, we just reflect, we get together, and we continue, we go again, because we've seen it in the past, JP, when we've been doing the last 10, 15 minutes, we're not panicking. How many goals have we scored late on? Because you don't panic, you stay calm. And for me, JP, that's another big thing that I think will come into fruition if it's not going your way, or it's maybe kind of nip and tuck with the last 20 minutes. Stay calm and keep doing, like Bazza says, we've got a fixed way of playing, just keep playing that way.
Well, the motto was we never stop, innit? So it's doesn't matter what way the game's gone for us, we'll keep playing the ball, we keep going from one side to the other, we keep moving the ball. But the difference between this team to any other Celtic team I've seen is this team move the ball at tempo and they move it with pace. And when the subs come on, teams are usually dead in their feet. And when they 5 subs or 3 subs get made in a wanny, it takes the game away from the team, because the energy and everything, like you says yourself, the game that you alluded to, I think it was St Mirren game, where he actually brought on Hatate, O'Reilly and Haskabanovic off the bench. And right away, St Mirren set up in a way that we couldn't. It was just dead hard for us to get through. So we were keeping the ball, but we were having to pass it back away and go across the park and go across to the other side of the park and try and work some openings. But as soon as Hatate, O'Reilly and Haskabanovic came on, they're 3 players straight away that can thread the iron needle with a ball. That maybe the guys that were on, like David Turnbull, he just wasn't finding that killer pass that day. And he was being, the boy Bacchus that was playing up against him had got the better of him in a sense that he was forced him back away with the ball all the time, just wasn't letting him breathe. But as soon as Hatate, O'Reilly and Haskabanovic, they're 3 ball players and 3 ball carriers. So as soon as he bring him on, Hatate's overall makeup, the way he plays the game, is night and day for Turnbull. So his starting position, he's always got a yard or two to play in before anybody gets near him, just because of the way he can position himself and he's reading of the game. O'Reilly's the same. You watch O'Reilly, he carries the ball, and when he picks the ball up in the half turn, he reminds me of Tom Rogic, because it just looks so simple to him, because he turns and it looks as if he's got loads of room, but he's no. The guy's just shut him down, but his body's positioned between the ball and him in a way that it looks as if the ball's miles away for the defender. It's just the way these guys play. And Haskabanovic, I reckon he could skin you and nutmeg you in a phone box with a beach ball full of helium, to be honest with you, with flip-flops on. He's got that kind of close control. He loves darting inside. He can play with 2 feet, which is a fullback's nightmare. Jota's the same. Maeda's now starting to be able to do it now. I don't know what Harry Kewell's put in his water for if come back for the World Cup as well, but he's another one that's moved on tenfold and became really aggressive in the way he presses the game, the way he just drives at people. He can eliminate his man and man. Abada's the exact same. The only man we've not really kind of seen is James Forrest, but that's because the other guys are playing that well. May happen to James Forrest, but he's fell down the ladder because of Jota, Haskabanovic, Maeda, Abada. They're all playing well. And you can't just whip these guys out of the team for nothing and just say, right, I'm going to make you a finish the other day because I just want to play James Forrest. That's just not how it works, especially when you're trying to build momentum and you're trying to win the trophies. Forrest has had his injury worries as well, which has probably played a big part in as to why he's now fell down the ladder. It's just like, but it's happened naturally, not because all of a sudden he's became a bad performer. It's just a natural step back he's taken through the injury. And Ange he's added that much quality to the squad that there's other people probably ahead of him now. And that's what happens. Plus the fact is James is getting older as well, it's only natural that's going to happen. Eventually it'll happen to any older guy. Joe Hart it'll happen to, because there'll be another young keeper that's either brought in or comes in that'll start getting game time, but just because of the natural aging process. And that's what it's doing. It's not because he's became a bad player or some of the other nonsense you keep hearing on social media. But no, I totally agree with everything you're saying. Baz, I've actually got a wee question for yourself, mate. It's for Robert Ingram. He's commented in for YouTube. He's asking me, have you ever seen Cantwell play down south? Robert thinks he's a bit lightweight for this fixture, and he thinks we're going to have far too much class, more or less what we've said earlier. But he wants to know, have you seen Cantwell play or even played against him for that matter?
I've played against him when he was at Norwich in the Championship. I was very impressed. He went through a stage where he probably, I think at the time he was flying in the Champ. They got promoted, done really well in his first season in the Premier League, and then whatever's happened, and he's found himself having to come to Rangers to try and find that form. Probably he's still young. You have times in your career where you dip, and unless you're the best, you obviously stay at the top for a while. But he might just be going through that stage in his career where he's having a wee bit of a dip. But when I played against him, I thought he was good. He can see things. He worked hard as well. I was playing against him, so he did work hard after the ball as well, and you can see he's got quality. I don't know the reasoning why he's fell away at Norwich, because obviously came through at Norwich as well. So there must be reasons, but I thought he was a good player when I played against him. But I don't know what's happened to him. He's probably came to Rangers, and to be honest, Rangers are a bigger club than Norwich, so it's probably a step forward for him, and it's a good move. So he'll if he can find his form, he could be a good player, I think, for Rangers. For me personally, playing against him, I thought he was good. He's probably better than what they've already got. So, but I don't know what his fitness or anything like that at the minute, because I know he's been in and out for following their games and stuff. He's been in and out a bit of late, and my uncle supports Rangers, funnily enough. He said he got whipped against Partick Thistle at half time. So I don't know. Sometimes you go through bad stages in your career, confidence takes a knock, and it might be a while till you see the best of him again. But he's a good player. For me personally, I think he's a good player, and it's a good signing for him.
Aye, but I've, to be honest with you, I don't really. Obviously, I'll take what you're saying to gospel, mate. But I've not really had any sort of great experience of him myself, and even up here, I've only seen him against Partick Thistle before Sunday. So, and no, there was a reason why he was taken off at half time. I heard he was hooked at half time, and then he was taken off. I don't know if that's true, but no, he was rotten, and that's the best way I could put that. He was absolutely honky tonk, and that's why he was whipped off, because it just wasn't happening for him. They tried to play Tillman, Hadji, and Cantwell, and the three of them are all very, very similar type players. To play the three of them across your midfield three, it's in my opinion, it's not going to work. But then this is a team that plays three defensive midfielders and expects something to happen for them. So I don't know, when guys can't even run 10 yards. So, and they're playing these three against, they done it at Celtic Park the first game of the season, get whacked 4-0. They done it against Ajax in Amsterdam, get whacked 4-0. They done it against Liverpool at Anfield, get whacked 2-0, get on 12 if Liverpool would have took their chances that night. Liverpool beat them 7-1 at Ibrox. They get whacked there in Napoli. What was it, 4-1 or 3-1 or what was it? And this is because they played three defensive midfielders. So their chemistry's quite no there. And it's, for what I've seen now, it's, in my opinion, it's not getting any better. Performance levels are certainly still, they get out of jail against Aberdeen at Pittodrie. They were getting beat 2-1. Aberdeen should have held on. Ended up, I don't know how they lost the game 3-2. They've had a couple of wee results where they've only stumbled down the line. Partick Thistle was one of them. If it wasn't for an OG, then it was certainly heading into the depths towards penalties anyway, because it went to extra time. So, and obviously there was a big hoo-ha in that game because Ian Beale decided to give Partick Thistle an extra goal because of what happened with Tillman.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was quite interesting there, Mr. McCandless, about what the man was saying about Cantwell himself. I don't know yourself, mate. Like, to be honest, I can't really comment on him as an individual because I've not seen enough of him to say whether I think he's going to be good or whether he's not. But going with his performance level against Partick Thistle, he's vastly going to have to improve should he have any sort of future up here in Scottish football, that's for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Baz has come up against him and played against him, so he knows firsthand, and his opinion here is probably better than the rest is. He's saying he's a good player. He's been there and come up against him, but I mean, I think most of us, if not always here, watch the Premier League down in England, and so he's come into my eye line at times when he was there with Norwich. I was aware of who he was before Rangers were linked to him, and he's got a good profile. That's obvious, and we've seen it with both clubs. The players can come from down south who maybe have lost their way a wee bit. I mean, look at Scott Sinclair a number of years ago. He'd lost his way down in England and came up here, and he just needed the right setting, the right environment, maybe the right message, whatever it was, you know. But that change of scenery for him was fantastic, and the rest is history. So this can happen with players. They can lose their way a wee bit, but the pedigree's there, the quality's still there. So he might turn out to be a good signing for him. Equally, if he was substituted at half time against Partick Thistle, it might be that he's got other issues nobody would know, and it might not work out for him. But you mentioned Joe Hart, Guy P, in your previous comments, and this was something I wanted to put to you guys as well. I think it's important that Joe Hart, I think it's important that he's steady tomorrow and there's no silly mistakes. And you know, you reflect back on that last game that we played against Rangers, and Joe Hart has a wobble, and it seemed to sort of give Rangers momentum. It gave them belief, and wasn't long after that the game kind of turned. So I'm looking for Joe Hart tomorrow to be focused, no silly mistakes, switched on, and if he's required, I'm looking for at least a big save for him. The bare minimum is that he does his job in terms of the things that he should stop. But if he's needed to make a big save, I'm hoping that tomorrow's the day, Sunday, sorry, and he's able to keep the ball at the back of the net, because goalkeepers are vital in these games. They're really, really important, crucial. So as much as I enjoy Joe Hart and the way he's able to play the kind of sweeper keeper, and he's able to get involved in the play to some extent, Sunday, sorry, I'm looking for my goalkeeper to keep the ball at the back of the net, and if he's called upon, to make the big saves. But Baz, I need to ask this question, mate. I've not the luxury of being on the pod with you the same as the other guys. So if you, in some other world, if your game tomorrow wasn't against Charlton and you were coming up against this Celtic team, what would concern you? What do you see from a professional point of view? You look at that team, say you were coming up against them in a competitive match, not a friendly, a competitive match. What would you be looking at? What would worry
you? I'd probably say the rotations and their patterns of play would be hard to deal with, along with their energy. I think their energy's top notch, but I think the rotations and the patterns of play happen so fast that for the other team, it's hard to know and hard to get the point across to your other teammates who's meant to be taking who, because they rotate so much. So I would say the rotations that they do and how well drilled they are at it, along with the energy and their technical abilities, would make them a hard team to play against.
Anything else, Barry? You want to? Is that it?
Happy with that, mate. That's good. No, because I think it's important that you hear from somebody who's playing, and if he was getting into that match and into that setting and playing against this team, where does he think the threats would be? And I think he summed it up perfectly, and I think it's going to be so important tomorrow, the energy. And Celtic start the game, and Ryan was talking about the tempo. I think we need to set a really high tempo that they just can't deal with.
I think that's important, Ryan, isn't it? Like, I think the energy level that we can play at, we've seen it against Real Madrid. We had them worried. All you need to do is go back, listen to their I know they won the game 3-0 here, especially at Celtic Park. We had like guys like Modric and Toni Kroos and even Benzema before he went off. Militao, guys that were all playing at a real high level and playing still in the Champions League and playing at World Cups and doing well, and they've won the trophy I don't know how many times now. I've lost the won it the most ever as a club. We worried them, so and that we took the game to them. We didn't show any fear. There was nothing. We showed a lot of hunger and desire that night to get after them and oppose ourselves on the game rather than letting the game bypass us. And I think against that, the other mob, and I'm going to call them the other mob now because they've been disrespectful to us in the press recently. So the other mob, I think, I know we'll come to that in a wee minute. That's in my head now to talk about that, actually, just as I've said that, the other mob, that's a belter. But I think once we get after them, when we have shown recently, they just can't have us. As bad as I say, the rotations that we play at, and it's not just a threat for one or two areas, the whole pitch is a threat. We've got Greg Taylor scoring volleys, and Anthony Ralston can score. The only man that's not scored in the team, I think, it's Alistair Johnson. But the rest of them have all scored. So, there's a threat everywhere on the pitch. And like we says before, mate, it must be so difficult when you're standing in a tunnel and you're looking at that lineup and you're going, Oh no, there's starting Hamidi. Oh no, there's Kyogo. Oh no, there's Jota. Oh no, there's Greg Taylor who can get up and down the park. He's playing like Roberto Carlos, you know. There's Callum McGregor, doesn't he? Stoke plays 500 games a year. It's phenomenal, and it must be, as Bazza says, it must be so hard. And get into the game, you're half getting into the game a bit. Not demoralised, but you're definitely wary what could possibly happen here if you're on the attic, because you can only control yourself as an individual. You can't control the other 10 guys. If you're a captain, as Bazza is for his team, then obviously you can try and motivate them that way. But once he's got a white line, it's a totally different ball game, as they say. So you need to stay. I think he's on it to stay well drilled, and you need to, and it's really hard to do, especially a game where Celtic can just whip off 5 players and bring on another 5 players who, by the way, the performance level isn't dipping. It sometimes is getting better, if no, at least staying the same anyway. So it must be very difficult, mate.
Aye. Also, you touched on as a player, you can only, as a manager, you can only do so much, and then as a player, once you pass that white line, it's down to you. That is basically what the cup final is all about. The manager can prepare you, you can do your training sessions, you can do whatever you can, but as soon as you get to that white line, if you're like Cam McGregor says in his presser, if we're not on it, then you don't get worried, but then you need to be on it. It's a cup final, it's a 1.5 game. You need to be on it. If you're not on it, it could go the wrong way. We're all saying that we do believe, in my opinion, what we're saying is correct. I don't think we're saying anything out of turn or anything that any real football fan who looks at Celtic and Rangers would disagree on. They might argue the point, but I think they find it very hard to disagree if we're really looking at football as a neutral. Once you go into that park, it's down to you and what you do. The manager can only talk to you so much inside the park. He can only give you a wee boost at half time. Once you're on that park, you've got to do it. It's a 1.5 game. And I believe we've got the players to do it in a 1.5 game. We've showed it in the past. How many trophies have you won the last 20 years? You've dominated Scottish football just about nearly every season, apart from one here or there. These players have the winning mentality. Just about, I think McGregor's got more winner trophies than probably a lot. I don't know that by gospel, but just the top of my head, it's probably near enough true, because no other players have won trophies. Some have not played in big competitions, some have lost the hunger in competitions, some don't like playing in front of big crowds. These guys are committed to saying this, and like you spoke about, in my opinion, Celtic's team talk is done. Forget about that it's a cup final. Some of the stuff they're saying, for me, it's crazy. It's like you dare talking on the park. McGregor's come out on his presser, Ficker's done his presser, Anne's done his presser, and it's done. There's no silly headlines, there's no media talk, there's no nothing. For me, I don't know why the Rangers press are letting them talk like the way they're talking. I don't know if it's to wind people up or get people talking, or is it headlines? But it's a cup final. Your mind should be on the cup final. No talking to media about what to be the best team or prove this. You prove it on the park. You don't prove it on headlines. Because for me as a fan, I've seen like Stefan Johansson, we are better than Mulder known our league, and then we go away to Mulder and get absolutely horsed. You can't say stuff because it could bite you back in the bum. You need to just go as it is. Turn up on Sunday with your brown brogues and your suit and go enjoy the game and go and try and lunch your team. Don't talk nonsense. The same as us. We prepare and we turn up and we try and win the game. I don't want to spend too much on it because it's just crazy. I believe my overall thought of the game is if we turn up to what we can, we win the game, no matter what Rangers do. If they play at the right game, but we are just a level above, we win the game because we've got better players, we've got a better know-how of winning games at this level in terms of trophies. It's proved that in the last how many years, and we've got a better manager. Right now, anybody can argue we're ahead in every capacity, but like Baz says as well, if they win it, it could change a bit of momentum because momentum is key in football. But for me, JP, my last 40 of the game overall, if we turn up to what we can and what we expect us to do, then I'm like Bazza, I'm very confident we'll win the game. I'm not going to say a scoreline because it's a cup final, it could be 1-0, but you could absolutely get terrorised, or it could be 1-0, you could be absolutely brilliant. So, but for me, I just feel if we turn up to what we can, we win the game, mate.
I agree. I've got some stats here that would actually tell people the real truth. about the two clubs. I'll just stick that up for all the watchers as well. So here we go. So we'll go head to head for trophies, right? So league titles, we've got 52. They've only got 1. Scottish Cups, they've only got 1. We've got 40. By the way, that is phenomenal. 40 times the Scottish Cup winners is absolutely phenomenal. League Cup trophies, 20. They've got 0. UEFA Cup winners, we've got 1 European Cup and they've got 0. But yet they talk like they're somehow the best thing since sliced bread. Now, on sliced bread, this is a fan base who no long ago were actually wearing Warburton's loaf packets and tapping their heads got the games. Let that sink in for a wee moment, guys, before we start talking seriously about other things. This is the same mob who had a manager in the bushes in Luxembourg arguing with him. And now they've got a manager who is just preaching to the choir full of this. It's frightening. He's actually up to doses. They're only meant to take 2 a day. It started off 1 a day and that wasn't enough. Now they need an effect. Now they're up to 5 a day and they get that at their breakfast in the wee canteen they've got there at a big house. And the manager himself, Mr. Ian Beale, where he's at, he's done more talking in 4 months than this podcast has done in the last year and a bit. He actually still went for a job in a call centre because the guy just likes to talk. He's in the wrong position. My opinion, I just think it's inexperience. I think that shows vastly in a lot of his interviews. That's why he's never been a manager before, because he talks like, you know, what he's saying is the gospel truth, and he's got all the gullibles believing every story he comes away with, everything he says, all the rubbish he said. I mean, it was him that started us, calling us the other mob, and then he quickly retracted on that, and he says, I wasn't meaning to be disrespectful, and now he's got Sakala doing it for him. And Nicholas Raskin saying he's looking forward to the game on Sunday because he wants to prove that they're the best, and somebody needs to tell that wee guy to go and look at the league table and come on see the Celtic's trophy cabinet for what's sitting in it for just last season. I know he wasn't there, but to come away with the rubbish, as Ryan just says there, Bazza, to come away with the rubbish they're coming away with, like I've said before, mate, half the nonsense they talk isn't true and the other half's hard to believe. I don't know what your thoughts are on that and what you've heard, but I find that astonishing. It's some of the headlines. By the way, some of the headlines this week alone, it was like the Craig David song. Monday took her for a drink on Tuesday, but that's what it was like with the headlines. I'm not singing. I'm not going to start singing. But that's what it was like on Monday. It started by having talking about the cup final, and then on Tuesday it was Big Ange was leaving. On Wednesday it was Kyogo had knocked back Crystal Palace. I'm surprised the day Big Ange isn't linked for the First Minister's job here in Scotland.
Well, the other day it was Jota's form dipped and Ryan Kent's on form.
Oh, that's another one I forgot all about that. That's what I say. I try and forget all the nonsense, Ryan. Do you know what I mean? I try and do my best to eliminate it from my head. But Bazza, what's your thoughts on some of the, I'll call it dribble, but not the kind of dribble you're accustomed to, mate, the dribble that we've got to listen to up here?
I think it's obviously a bit stupid, really, innit? He's done Celtic's team talk for him, really, for past experience. If somebody's said something about our team in the press, it'll get put up in meetings and stuff. So, no doubt, you don't need any more edge going into this game, like I said, but he's probably done Celtic's team talk for him on Sunday. As a player, it kind of sounds as if he's been led to say that, or I don't know, because it doesn't come across as if it's actually coming for him, but he's said it, so I don't know where he's heard it, or he's come out with it now, and it's a bit stupid, really. I think, like you said, you've got to do your talking on the park, and come Sunday at 5 o'clock, that could come back to bite them, really, the comments they've made. It's no great. It's a bit disrespectful towards Celtic as well, in a way. So it could be mind games, obviously. It could be mind games and try to get an edge that way because it's small margins in these games, obviously. And, you try and take what you can get, but I think Celtic have got enough experience in their changing room not to let that bother them too much, and it'll probably drive them on, really.
Barry Mack?
Yeah, I think it was just silly. I don't know if, as Bazza said, he's been put up to it by somebody or it was planned. I don't know. It didn't seem that way. It seemed as though he said it off the cuff. But you do wonder, well, is that the way the manager is referring to? He's obviously used that term before.
Publicly as well.
Yeah, is that what he uses when he's doing his team talks, when he's referencing Celtic, when he's analysing our games? Is that how he refers to us? Because it could be that that's where he's heard it, and it's just sort of come out naturally because he's hearing it. I don't know. But as Bazza said, he's been in that situation where he's had that extra fuel. Somebody said something silly, and all it can ever do, these comments, all they can ever do is inspire the other team even more. But there has been a lot said by the manager. He has said an awful lot. I mean, it's true, this guy loves the sound of his own voice. And one of the things I love about our manager is that he never gets involved in that stuff. Even when, there's been a hook dangled in front of him, he's never took the bait. But you would like to hope that it's at the back of his mind, Ange Postecoglou, and he's got a wee score to settle personally in this fixture, in this match. You just don't forget that comment that Sakala made. As Bazza said, it's disrespectful. He's a professional footballer, the guy, and he didn't show any respect in making that comment about his fellow professionals. But the same can be said for Mr. Beale, because it wasn't that long ago that he was talking about Ange Postecoglou and Celtic, and he used the word lucky. Now, Ange Postecoglou has been anything but lucky in his time at Celtic. In fact, you could argue he was unlucky when he came to the club, because he inherited a squad, a team that was disjointed.
Yeah.
So there has been zero luck involved. And there isn't any context that you can defend that. You can't defend making a comment like that using the word lucky. So for me, hopefully Ange Postecoglou has took that personally in the right way, and that he really lays down the gauntlet to the boys on Sunday in that dressing room and lets them know, listen, play with composure, play your football, but you don't want to come into this dressing room after this match having to eat humble pie. We want to be dishing out the humble pie here, because certainly their manager needs a wee bit of it, as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely. What's your thoughts on the gesture from Ange the other day? Don't know if you've seen it, mate, but obviously he allowed one of the fans to join in the fan media with him. I thought that personally was astonishing. A nice wee touch for the manager.
Look at how happy he looked.
That just helps show the total class of Ange. I just think it's a perfect video of step tone, son, really. I just think that's a perfect picture there. Look at the fear in Michael Beale's, or Ian Beale as we call him, face. I reckon any of us would feel like that as well if we were sitting next to greatness. So, I don't know. But I thought overall, guys, that was a nice wee gesture for the Celtic manager, allowing one of his, fanboys into.
But that just proves you how you're trying to project your game, and the sponsor trying to make your game better. You're doing something like that. It's just, why are you doing that? Just do a normal presser. Why you want to do something different? If it's not fixed, don't change it. It's just, for me, it was. I don't know if it's because there was comments about with Chris Sutton and comments with Ange, decided to try and make it heated or beef up. I really don't know what we're trying to do, JP, but I just find it crazy.
Ange didn't look happy, mate. He certainly didn't look. I don't know if he's been told last minute, but I look, see his face. I mean, I'll come to you, Bazza. You've been in the game a long time now, mate. You've supported the game a long time. have you ever experienced something like that? And especially a game of this sort of stature and scale. It's very Super Bowlish, in my opinion. I think the Americans tend to do this in the NFL, where they get the two managers, two coaches, as they call them. I don't really know. I don't really follow the NFL, but I have seen it before, where the two managers come in and they sit beside each other. I find it really bizarre. And this is a thing that Viaplay, as they're called now, instead of Premier Sports, have decided to enter into the the way that moving forward. Then I think they're going to have to reevaluate that decision, in my opinion, because there was a severe backlash from lots of sections of both supporters as well, which you can imagine, because it started off with the two of them shaking hands, then the two of them sits down. But you could see Angie's demeanour overall. I mean, he's sitting there like a grumpy man. It's as if he just doesn't want to be there. And I think it's meant to be what Bazamac was saying there. He knows the guy's been disrespectful towards him beforehand. So how can you, without an actual face-to-face apology after somebody, how can you then sit there and... I mean, see if I was Ange, I'd have sat down and says to him, who's lucky now? Like, you're getting to sit beside me here. And you're lucky to be sitting beside me, because I'm the best in this country. But obviously, you know, and that's me just having a bit of banter there. But Ange is obviously got a bit more class about him than that. But he certainly doesn't look happy, mate.
It looks as if I think he had a good relationship with Van Bronckhorst, but it looks at
They two went for dinner together, didn't they, up here?
I heard the story, that they went for dinner and stuff with each other, so I think they had a good relationship. So if it was still him in charge, then you could maybe see where they're coming from at that angle. But I think, like we've touched on with Mick Beale's comments about Ange being lucky in that, I think there's a bit of needle there, obviously. And I think that Viaplay wasn't a great idea, to be honest. You could see it looked uncomfortable for both managers, really. They obviously didn't want to be in each other's company by the looks of it. So they're probably trying to add to the spice of the fixture, but they don't need to do it. The fixture, it is what it is. Everybody knows what it is. So it was strange, but like I said, he seemed to have had a good relationship for the outside looking in with Van Bronckhorst, and now I think with Mick Beale coming in and his comments and stuff, I don't think they're the best of mates, to be honest.
No, definitely no. Definitely no. It's obviously, as you said, it's a bit of needle there, and obviously there's right away he's created that though by opening his mouth. So, in my opinion, you just say nothing. You get on with your job. You're there to try and improve the teams, because the team was poor at the beginning, at the start of the season, up to when you took care. You're there to try and improve the team. The best way to do that is to start improving on the pitch and do your talking on the park. Don't start talking rubbish about other managers or your rivals' managers, should you say, just to try and stir up a bit of needle. Or I think it's very stupid. As Bazamac says there, I think it can come back to bite you severely in the bum if you don't back it up on the pitch. Now, we've seen the team recently, and obviously when it gets to the bigger occasion, they seem to be the ones that are, but they've even got their players out admitting it as well. Malik Tillman's out saying they were scared to play in Europe. Tavernier said before that, they've got a weak mentality. Connor Goldson, when Hibs beat them in the semi-final of the Cup last season, says that, the team had lost hunger and some sort of desire to win games. Now, if that's the kind of players you've got sitting in your dressing room, and I'm one of the other players, and I've heard him saying that, I'm going at him and I'm saying to him, who are you talking about there? Who is it that's lost desire and hunger? Are you talking about yourself? Or are you talking about me? Are you talking about him? Are you talking about him? I certainly wouldn't be too happy, Ryan, if that was a kind of, the media post-match interviews that was happening with guys that I'm sharing a dressing room with, mate. So to to say the comments and make it public, and then, as Bazza says here, create that bit of needle, I just find it totally bizarre.
I don't know, like Bazza said, I don't know if is it mind games, or they try to put something out for headlines, or they try to create a bit of needle, like Baz says, you don't need to create doing this game. This is the game that is the biggest game in Scotland. It doesn't need to be hyped up even more. I just think these are experienced guys, and you've got to remember as well, this isn't just Celtic Rangers. This is a worldwide brand, basically. It's a worldwide thing. It's not just going to be said at a presser and that's it. That goes on social media. It's always going to be talked about. I'll always talk about things like that. See, if I was in a dressing room and I found out that some of my players were saying that we weren't up for it today, or we don't like playing in front of crowds, I'm like, well, what are you playing at this level for? This is where you want to play at this level. You want to play under pressure. You want to be challenged. You want to have the fans on your back to prove you're better, etc. So I've seen my piece on it in a lot of podcasts, mate. I just find it. It's the same with Mick Beale before the game at Ibrox, when he was saying that how Celtic's form is good and we'll know what better yet, etc. But then he's going to go into the dressing room and say his players, by the way, that was for the public, yeah, by the way. I didn't really mean that for us. But go and win me the game now. I just, for me, obviously I'm a fan, but if I was my manager, obviously some players at that level, you don't always, I know Mike, again, I'm only talking from maybe my experience, you play for yourself first and foremost, the fan, etc. But first and foremost, it's yourself. You want the performance to be good and you want to help your teammates. For me, the manager didn't really come into my situation. I need to play for my manager. Obviously, if you're a good relationship with your manager, it helps and you want to win, etc. But you want to play well yourself, and if you play well, it'll help your teammates. If you're saying negative things like that, it goes about the dressing room, etc. You don't want that. You want to do with Celtic Day. You don't really do much media talk. You don't really see anything in the papers. You just go out and do it in the park. I've said my piece on the game, mate, on this. I've said my piece on that as well. I just think it's crazy. You do your preparation before the game, and then if after the game, if you lose, you say, right, we're only good enough. It's not to do with this, not to do that. You say that in-house. You don't say it. Because once it's out in the public eye, like Neil Lennon's obviously known in the past when he said silly stuff against Ferencváros, it went out there. It might have not came across what he wanted to say. He should have kept it in-house. And I think for certain things in JP, especially in Glasgow, you don't say it. You keep it in-house and you don't let the press, you don't let fans talk, because it grows arms and legs and it goes on stuff like this and it gets publicised even more. But I just think it's crazy, mate. And it is a wee bit of a weak mentality, in my opinion, because if you're talking about how you're scared to play in Europe, I don't know if that's been translated wrong. I don't think it is. I think he said that after we get beat with maybe a wee fit for this level. But then you've got Celtic basically been told for 60 minutes, and after the game, they're all pro Celtic were playing really well, and they didn't change their philosophy. They still came at us and brilliant. Celtic, I believe, eventually under Ange could do something in Europe. I'm not mean qualifying for last 16s, but they'll do better than we've done last year. I'd be surprised if we don't through that experience, but I think JP's all about experience, mate, and it's all about learning when to talk and when to bring it in.
Yeah, definitely. Bazza, Mac, what's your thoughts on the comments here about the boys and obviously the other mob?
Yeah, I think the important thing is, mate, that we've got a manager who isn't biting. And it looks like, listening to Cam McGregor's comments, Cameron Carter-Vickers, they were quite dismissive about it. Now, I know personally, and in the dressing room, that might come up as a subject, but ultimately, I think we've been so successful under Ange because we've been able to put all the outside noise aside, and Ange talks a lot about being able to control the things that he can control, and I think we're pretty focused on that stuff. So, you know, if it helps at all, great. But I certainly don't think it's going to have a negative effect on the squad. I think the mindset and the mentality in the squad is really strong. We've got a great leader in Ange Postecoglou, so no concerns whatsoever. If Michael Beale is somehow trying to play some kind of mind games, I just don't think it's going to have any effect whatsoever. But Bazza, another question I was wanting to ask you as well, mate, was, again, just because we've got you here and you're obviously still performing, So you've got a bird's eye view of these things. How important is it in a game like this for the players individually to win their duels? And obviously you're talking about maybe Maeda against Tavernier, Hatate against whoever's going to play in midfield for them, Carter Vickers against Morelos, it looks like it will be. How important is it for these guys individually to really win those battles and those duels and to come out on top? I know it's a team sport, but from your point of view, playing the game, how much focus did you put on your individual battle against who you were coming up against?
That's the first thing for me. Is whoever I'm playing against is to play better than him. Once I know that I'm winning my battle, then I can look to help my teammates elsewhere. But if you come out and top in your individual battle, you've done your job. I know it's a team game, like you touched on, but you need to win your personal battle first and then be a good teammate after that. So I think Celtic's top players like your McGregors, your Carter Vickers, the Tatis, Jotas, if they won their individual battles against their opponent, then like I said, the job's done. But it's massive, especially in close games as well. You've just got to get, no selfish, because it's like you say, there's 11 of you, it's a team sport, but selfish in the way that you've got to do your job first and foremost before you can become a good teammate. And if you won your battle anyway, you're halfway there to be becoming a good teammate. But you've got to win your battle first, and then you can then look to help the others around you. But if you're winning your battle as well, the guy next to you sees you winning your battle, it breeds confidence and it seeps through the team. And then next thing you know, if you're not winning your battle, you then got to work hard. If the guy's getting the better of you, then you've got to become a good teammate in other aspects of the game. Because you don't have your day every day. Sometimes you mean well, you try hardest, but sometimes things don't come off. But then you've got to be a good teammate then. But you've got to win your individual battle first and foremost before you start thinking about your team. But if you, like I said, if you're winning your individual battle, you're a good teammate anyway.
And just on teams and teammates, etc. I'm going to finish off talk about the derby now with our team selection and what my thoughts are there. So we'll start out with yourself, Bazza. What's your team selection, or what would your team selection be?
I think I'm going to throw a spanner in the works because
I love it. I done it last time. I done it last time, didn't I, with Johnson? So
that's what I mean. And you can't read them when you think you can read them. Someone else comes up. So like Alistair Johnson, I never had him down for starting the last Old Firm. Obviously, you did, big man, but I know you've got some inside knowledge. You always come out and talk in these teams. So, I'll go for the same back five. I think that speaks for itself. I think it will be Moy, Hatate, McGregor, and I'm going to go Abada, Kyogo, and Jota. I just think Kyogo and Jota. I just think Abada's, like we've touched on with the Barisic thing, he's got something on Barisic. And I was surprised he never started the last game. I know Maeda scored. I think James Forrest played the last game actually as well, because he was on a good bit of form. But I feel sorry because I think Maeda's been brilliant, but I just think he might throw a spanner in the works and keep them on their toes and throw in Abada for Maeda.
I'm really glad you said Abada, because any man that can do this to Bobby Boucher, as we call him, and make him have a wee seat mid-game, he deserves to start, in my opinion. Ryan, I'll come to yourself, mate, in terms of team selection, buddy.
You've got a wee bit of a debate who you play. Is it Abada or is it Maeda for me? Maeda has been brilliant, but sometimes certain guys suit certain games and some guys do well against certain opponents, and we've seen that Barisic has got a bit of fighters against Abada. He's not really done well against them, especially in big games, which obviously these are always big games, but when they come against each other, Abada's had the upper hand. The only thing I don't like about Abada, I think Jota, Maeda tracks back more than Abada. So if Abada is going to play, I think Johnson's going to have to defend a bit more, because especially what I've noticed when Abada plays, when he was with Juranovic at right back, Juranovic was always a big, massive gap, because it was just the way Ange wants to play. He's away up there, and it's leaving a big bit of a gap. So you're taking a chance for that. But I'm going to maybe go with Baza here, because I do think that isn't. But I know people, Rangers fans, might listen to this and go, nah, their unrestricted view are nonsense, to talk crap. But you can only go by facts, and the fact is, Barisic he's got a bit behind me. Abada, the fighters are there. Abada's always got the upper hand, so I'm just going to keep it short. The same team as Baza, because I think that's Bannan and the work could work, because I think they'll be thinking Maeda will play, because he's been playing just about every game, and Abada's been coming off the bench. I think it's a game for Abada, because up against Barisic, JP. So I'll just keep it short. Same team, and I think I'd like to think we'll go win the game.
It's not like you, Andy Gray. You've normally got a wee bit more to say, no matter than that, man. You're getting tired tonight, aye? That was.
Want to say that?
We're going to get a wee bit worried about them, boys. Got a big day out tomorrow. That's what it is, aye.
I'm just buzzing for the Goaners to get my coop up this weekend.
All right, okay. We'll get there. Have a wee bit of patience. We'll get there. I'm trying to get us there slowly but surely. But Baza Mac, your thoughts, mate, on the team?
Well, as the boys said there, if Abada starts the game, I won't be surprised, and I certainly won't be disappointed. His record in this fixture's excellent. But I don't think he will start the game. I think it will be the back five. It pretty much picks itself. So glad that Taylor's fit, and I just think he's such a key player. I think Moy.
Don't say that to Ryan.
I know. You take it tight every time, Ryan. I think Moy will start the game in midfield, and I think he'll go with Maeda on the left, Jota on the right, and I reckon Keogh will go through the middle. That'll be the starting team, but obviously, as Baza said, there's finishers to come on the pitch. So, anybody could be the match winner in this game, including the guys that are no starting.
Yeah, I love that term, finishers. Brilliant. I'm going to start using that myself, to be honest. Brilliant. Some word that in it. Finishers, superb. Now, when I said it to Ryan earlier, finishers, he's automatically thinking goal scorers, finishers, worth your weight in gold, or these kind of guys. Yeah. As I know, there's a different term for that word. Finishers, magic. That's a new word for substitutes. Brilliant, superb. It's a great word, I know.
Somebody needs to tell Ange.
Everybody that's listening in and watching us has actually got to be going away going, can't I wait to see what finishers were.
Somebody that knows Ange.
Can't wait to see can't wait to see who's on the finishers bench.
Top about finishers. We all know a guy that loads of finishers in his back pocket.
Oh, definitely, aye. In fact, this talk about him, his show will be starting in about 25 minutes. Your big friend. Definitely. That's how he commented earlier and sent me that wee video, because I'm not here for him tonight. So he'll be too busy. It's Friday.
Prime time.
Prime time, that's it. That's making money time for a big man, isn't it? I heard he's a bit sore last week. He was asked to do the splits. I don't know if that's true enough, but he was telling us that was really hard to accomplish. But we'll find out after Memora, because I'm going to see Memora briefly. Find out, we'll see if he's sore or not. I'll let you on the next time I'm on. Team Memora. I'm getting used to you, Baza Maka, saying the Team Memora. Aye, the team Sunday. I think by Joe Hart, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, and me Oxo. And then you're probably going to have. I actually think he's going to play O'Reilly. I think he'll go for it with the legs. I think he'll go at it, because as much as Moy has come in and done well, just for me, I think they three have got the best chemistry. McGregor, Hattati and O'Reilly. And just the rotations, as Baza alluded to earlier, I think the rotations, O'Reilly can now drop into the six, McGregor can push on. You've got the option to then swap it about. Hattati looks like he's got a free role He picks up every blade of grass just about now. His energy levels is unbelievable. He can thread a ball through the eye of the needle. So can O'Reilly. I don't know. As Bazza says there as well, I think a wee spanner might be flung in the works there. Everybody's probably going to be thinking along as what you have said about Aaron Moy. Probably will be, but I just think, why no? I don't want to just agree with you on what a world it would be if we always just agreed with one another. So I'm just going to kind of go with, I think O'Reilly might play instead of Aaron Moy. And I think the wingers will start with Maeda and probably Jota. I think Abada, as much as Big Bobby Boucher can't cope with him, he just might start Jota because Jota's able to. He's also able to, he's got that wee bit of extra. Abada's a goal machine in terms of, he can go for the throat and he gets himself in the danger zone. But Jota's got that bit of flair, a wee bit better than Abada has maybe. Abada's becoming a bit more direct now. Before that, he was before the World Cup, Abada was kind of a wee bit hesitant sometimes to take his man on. Now he's trying to do it at every time. But I just think Jota's got that wee bendy technicality that he can fit through wee smaller gaps. And look at that one. He rinses the right back, the best right back in the world, according to him. And he dances inside and then he more or less brings the game alive when he does that, and Kyogo ends up getting his equaliser. But I think obviously Kyogo will start through the middle, definitely. I think that'll be the team. So no, it'll be interesting, guys. It's obviously going to be good. We can all sit here and probably predict. I'm not going to predict a score because I think that would be just Looney Tunes. I'm different for you guys. I don't want to be on any other podcast apart from my own. So I'm kind of going to keep that one close to my chest, to be honest. It should make for a good game, definitely. As I say, it's a cup final. The game probably will be tight, but I do reckon if we get after them and do what we done against them last February at Celtic Park or at the start of the season in August at Celtic Park, then I think it could be curtains for them, especially if we take a game away from them the way we can do in like the first half. So, no, that'll be a good one. And I'm really looking forward to it as well. You always do with cup finals. So, but I'm at the favourite part of the night. Obviously, Mr. Gray there's been chomping at a bit. He's got his wee shaky pen ready to go for his scooping, so we better get going so he can get it lined up.
I'll get my notepad out.
Oh my God, he's got Jose Mourinho's love book out, man. You writing novels again?
I can't write essays today myself, mate, so no me, no.
Last time you were near a book, it was a Beano, wasn't it?
Good Wally.
Good Wally. Aye. Lady in the trap. And then he read the book. Aye. That was just the first time meeting up with Big Jason's house, wasn't it? But as I say, we're at the favourite part of the show.
Goal!
The unrestricted goal rush, boys. Here we go. Bazar, I'll come to you with this one. Aberdeen are at home to Livy. Can't hear you, mate. Something's happened to your volume. Nah. It's like watching one of the dub movies. According to my screen here, it says you've put yourself on mute. If that helps us.
It's like watching The Little Mermaid.
Right, I'll move on. We'll bring you back in a wee second. Bazza, Mac, same. I'll go with you. Aberdeen, Livy, mate.
Well, I'm going to go right in the middle here. I'm going to go with a draw with that one. I think Aberdeen are struggling. Livingston are they're a tough team. They're a tough team, and they seem to perform. They seem to overperform away from home. So I'm going to go for a draw.
A draw, right?
Aberdeen, mate. I think this is maybe maybe the last chance of winning if Robson wants to put his hat in the ring for the job. So, and I think they need to start getting results. So, I'm going to go with Aberdeen, mate.
Okay, I'm going to say Aberdeen as well. I think Barry Robson will get them. They've got good players in their team, and I think it's, you know, they will kick on. I know they got a doing last weekend, but that's because of who they were playing against. The season will not be defined with that kind of game, that's for sure. It'll be defined with teams like Livingston, and no disrespect, it's teams that are running in about them that they'll be defined on try to beat and get themselves up that table. So I am going to agree and say Aberdeen will get the victory. Baz, have we got you back now? Nah, still got that.
Is it on mute on the tiny boat? It might be on mute. The wee mic bit.
No, he's... What about now? Might be one of your earphones, mate. He's put himself on mute. Try it now. No.
They're all like these things when they're working, eh?
Aye, technology, the beautiful thing of technology.
Yeah. Well, JP, it's on you.
Aye, right, okay. I'll take the next one. So, we're Kilmarnock's at home to Motherwell. I think Motherwell will do the damage here. I think Motherwell have picked up. The last couple of results have been really positive. They've got a new manager. It looks like they've got a new manager, Kick, and Stuart Kettlewell. So I think and obviously the result against Hearts could be a big momentum shifter for them, because they absolutely battered Hearts at Fir Park last weekend. So I think Motherwell, Kilmarnock are going through a bit of a tough time, and I always did say at the beginning, you heard me there, Ryan, as well, at the beginning when the season kicked off, I did think with especially squad depth, I thought McInnes was always going to be punched above his weight because he's getting night and day squads compared to what he had at Aberdeen in terms of squad quality and depth. So I do think that they're struggling now, and I think that's why they are where they are. Obviously, they've lost big Lafferty, which was totally bizarre. I mean, he served a 10-game ban, came back and played against us, and ended up out of team. So I don't know why, but I'll come to you with that one, Bazamick, and what's your thoughts on that, mate?
I fancy Motherwell. I think McInnes, he's been unlucky. Unlucky combined with, I don't think they were fully prepared to be in the league. And you're right, I think Kettlewell's got a turn out of Motherwell. They look as if they're playing for the manager, and it looks as though there was a bit of quality there after all, because the performance they put in against Hearts was first class, really. So I'm going to go for an away win, Motherwell.
Ryan?
I'll just give it a shot, mate. Motherwell.
Magic. Wow, I expected that. I've got a wee comment in for Hail. He's not saying Hail last time, so that's quite disappointing. I thought that was a good unit at the beginning. He's actually asking, are you using VAR technology, AirPods, Barry? He's just wondering how the boys can't hear you. So, are we able to hear you now? Have you got it sorted? Nah, okay. So, next one up, Ross County versus Dundee United, and Ross County are at home. Ryan?
United. Again, they need to start picking up results. Again, I'll always go back to Big Fletcher. Fletcher's a big player for them, and if he turns up, he can still cause a lot of damage in this league. So they need to start picking up results. I think it was at their chairman or somebody else at their club says maybe Gundogan isn't the best. It might be the worst of things. I don't think it's just mind games he's trying to do with the players or the fans. But for me, again, be a bit short makes. I do think that United will do the business, mate.
I'm actually going to say Ross County. Because Ross County are at home, Dundee United are bottom of the table. They are going through a bit of a rough spell now. I know they've got Fletcher and a few other boys that can, but for some reason, I don't know what it's. They just seem to be having a bit of rotten luck now in terms of the. I don't know whether it's they're not responding well for the manager, or they're going through a spell now where some of the performances aren't where a Dundee United team should be aspiring to. And that's probably why they are in the position they are in the league. So I'm actually going to say Ross County because I think I think you touched on it, Ryan, last week. Malky Mackay's trying to get him to play a certain type of football, and they've picked up the last couple of results. So I'm going to say, performance-wise, they've picked up the last couple of games anyway. So I'm going to say a home win for Ross County. Barry Mack?
Same. I'm going to go for a Ross County home win. I think Dundee United have been a major disappointment for me in the league because I thought with Fletcher and Tony Watt, I know he's now moved on to St Mirren, I think he went to. I thought, I had assumed that those two were going to be as good as anything in the league out with Celtic and Rangers, and I'm shocked that it didn't work out for Tony Watt because before he went there, you know, his form at Motherwell was fantastic, you know, and you just thought those two guys together, how could that not work? Why didn't that work? Who knows, but I'm going to go for Ross County.
Right, Baz, I will try you again, mate, see if I've got you back. Are you back with us? No.
I was holding my breath there. I really thought we were going to get it there.
I'm beginning to think Wally Collins intercepted your phone call here, mate. I think the Wally Collins playing me your, or maybe maybe one of your teammates is next door and he's decided to get you cut off for the Wi-Fi signal. Aye, for a laugh, we're going to noise him up. He's on a podcast.
Big Darren Moore wants me to get a good night's sleep for tomorrow's game.
He's one of them in his bed, isn't he?
What else you're going to... Baz, you better get your bed or you're going to be a finisher tomorrow.
I knew that was going to come back to bite you as soon as you said that. Honestly, it's good that you can still hear us though. Obviously, St Johnstone against the Battle of the Saints tomorrow. St Johnstone at home against St Mirren. I'm going to make this nice and easy. I think that'll be a damp squib and I'm going to say a draw. Ryan?
I'm going to go with St Johnstone home win. I think St Mirren have been doing well, but I think they are St Mirren at the end of the day, so they are going to be accustomed to the odd defeat, etc. here and there. And I think St Johnstone, I think will be their day tomorrow.
Baza Mac?
Same. I'm going to go for a home win. I think St Johnstone at home. It's a fair wee travel for St Mirren, relatively speaking, so I'm going to go for a home win.
Okay. Baz, I will try you again, but if we don't hear you this time, mate, it doesn't look like you'll be getting your coupon on this weekend, mate. No, can't hear you now. No. Can see you moving your mouth, but what you might best do, right, quickly, is jumping back out and jumping back in. Sometimes that refreshes it. So if you just jump back out and then... No, I mean like that. He's went off screen, but he's went off completely now. If he jumps back in now, it might refresh it for him. Because I tried to go into his settings where I am just now, and see if I could help him out, but obviously it's telling me that I couldn't, so... Unmute your mic, mate.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Hey!
Them AirPods let me down, man.
That's it.
Maybe I've crashed on you and you just didn't know. Right, so you want to run through it. You want to run...
Anyway.
Nice one. Easy finisher of the night, boys. Aye, definitely. Right, quickly, Aberdeen or Livy?
I'll go Aberdeen 2-1.
Right, okay. Kelly, Motherwell.
Draw.
Ooh. Big shout. Ross County United.
Got to go for my big mates team, into Dundee United 1.
Okay. And the Battle of the Saints, which is St Johnstone at home to St Mirren.
I think I'll go a draw there as well.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of our wee Friday.
Goal!
To be fair, I was going to hit that button about 5 minutes ago if you hadn't got your AirPods sorted, mate. So, but no, I'm glad you did. But that brings us to the end of the night, lads. I'm sorry I've took yous an hour and 50 and your time.
Is that how long it was?
That's how long it was,
flies by having fun, so it does.
Also flies when you throw a cloak at somebody's heap.
Barry, that cloak's so what was a fashion accessory?
That actually folds off it was when he stands up and takes it away. He just put that up for decoration. It's actually a painting of
Big Jason.
I think it's Big Jason. He's normally got up there, aye. Big OnlyFans is normally up on the wall.
It's a signed poster of Jason.
He's got Suss's programme, so when you walk into his kitchen, Barry White comes on right away.
Big Jason's just sitting there like, it's a final countdown.
Well, lads, as I said, it's been a pleasure having the three on with me tonight. Bazza, especially yourself, mate. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Cheers, Baz.
For coming on.
Really, cheers, mate.
I know you've got a busy schedule, and obviously you guys are pushing for not only promotion, but there's a good wee shout for you trying to win a title down there as well. So, mate, I wish you all the best. Best of luck tomorrow against Charlton, and I wish you all the best for now at the end of the season as well.
Cheers, big man. Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Not the best, Baz. Cheers again, mate.
Anybody that's tuned in with us, thank you very much for all your comments. I can't see them all. I'm really sorry I can't put them all up on screen. That's due to the way us gabbing away and talking about things that we're here to talk about. So I do apologise for that. Across the running bar on the screen, guys, the Celtic Supporters Foundation are holding an event. It's the 6th of May in the Crown Plaza in Glasgow. And you will see what the offer is. So if you get it before Tuesday, which is the 28th of February, you pay £60 per head if you want to go, or £600 if you know 9 people, including yourself, which would be 10. And therefore, you would pay £600 for your table. I know, I practiced that today before we came on. I'm actually terrible at maths. No, I'm not like Jose Mourinho there. He's not pad in front of him. I'm not like him. I can just do all that off the cuff.
That's just from memory, mate. That's just from memory.
Right, okay. Right. My memory's brilliant, mate. I remember most things apart from when I remember all the important things my missus tells me to do. But no, as I said, if you want to check out that foundation, guys, they're on Facebook. If you just go over to their Facebook page, just type in Celtic FC Foundation Supporters Group. That'll come up, and all the information, probably more information than what I'm giving you there, is on there. After the 28th, your price of tickets would be £65 per person, £650 for your table of 10. And as I say, that's Saturday the 6th of May. The girl that's the chair for that foundation is a girl called Lisa Miller. So again, if you want to message a page, just ask to speak to Lisa, and she's pretty helpful and very friendly. So, as I say, please check out that if you fancy going to a dinner event, 3-course meal and a band and everything, or the sing songs that you can think of. Will all be happening that night as well. And that's for the Celtic way. So it's more or less the journey in 2003 and how the Celtic made it to Seville and all the ins and outs of what happened in that season. A great memory, but a terrible outcome, in my opinion, for us. But anybody else, guys, that's been tuning into the page, if you're new to the page and you like the content, please click the wee bell and hit the subscribe button, and that'll allow you to be notified anytime the page goes live. It's totally free to do it. It doesn't charge you any money, and that way you get notified when our big happy faces are on screen. Normally, it's normally myself and Ryan, big OnlyFans. He's no ways, so no doubt he'll be on after he's got his priorities straightened out. Barry's a regular contributor to the Barry Mack's a regular contributor to the podcast as well. So it's always good to have these guys on helping out as well. So yeah, please check out the pages on all platforms as well. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Ryan himself's got a couple of wee apps chucked in there. I can't really tell you about that though, because that's not my place. But yeah, we're on all platforms, guys. If you want to reach out to us at all, you can do it through the YouTube channel, Celtic Unrestricted View. There's a community section there. We put updates on what's happening on the page in there every day, or just about every day. So if you even want to reach out to us, messages on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, anything at all, guys. And it could be anything at all. It doesn't even need to be about Celtic. If you've got anything in your mind at all, anything that's, playing in your mind, you just want to speak out about it. Sometimes it's better to speak to a stranger. I put up myself and Ryan's Twitter handle for you as well there, for anybody that maybe wants to reach out. We've already had that happen, so please don't hesitate, because we do reply to you. We're a friendly bunch, really. And as I say, it's been a pleasure tonight, guys, speaking with you. And thanks again for taking the time. Massive hail, and come on to Celtic for Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. Bazza, all the best to you, mate, and all the best against Charlton tomorrow, mate. I hope you do the best.
Top man, see you later.
See you later, Bazza. Thank you very much.
All the best.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, hail.
Hail.
A big milestone for the captain as well. Considering obviously where we were a wee while ago, didn't know who the captain was going to be. A few, including myself, wasn't sure about McGregor. I was kind of saying Julian and all that, and you weren't really sure who was going to come in as manager to start off with, and then who would be the captain. Obviously, because let's be fair, anybody who follows Scott Brown, it's always going to be a hard task to follow the way he was as a person, as a player, and as a captain. Not